Hello all, I am Guna Mathivanan. Welcome back to Simply Current Affairs. In today's Current Affairs Hitlist, we are going to discuss the 15th and 16th chapter of Economic Survey. These are the last two chapters of Economic Survey. Before going into the lecture, friends, if you are looking for any revision support in economy, environment and geography, we have our quick revision program. Here all the three subjects, each subject will be revised in 15 hours. To know more about this program, you can visit our website www.simplycurrentaffairs.com. In the home page, you have the courses section where you have information about the quick revision program and other program as well. Right. Chapter number 15. This chapter is regarding cities. Cities are the growth engine of our country. By 2036, it is estimated that 40% of the India's population will be residing in cities and they will be contributing nearly 70% of the GDP. Now, despite of such immense scale, Indian cities, they lack economic influence. If you look at the developed countries, Singapore, if you take London, if you take other cities in the world, in the West particularly, the cities are empowered with a lot of powers and a lot of financial autonomy. But when it comes to India, there is a paradox. One side, cities are the growth engine. Another side, the cities, they are not able to mobilize sufficient resources to meet their regular administration. There is an administrative paradox. In terms of administration, the cities are marginalized. Yes, the urban local bodies, who are the main responsible agencies for managing the cities, they are not given with sufficient resources. They are being politically marginalized. So if you look at the data, the large cities, take the overall cities, the cities, they are able to raise their own source of revenue only up to 0.6% of GDP. Though the cities are going to contribute almost 70% of GDP, but the revenues which they are able to mobilize for their regular administration is just 0.6% of GDP. This is average. Okay, so there are cities which can earn little extra, there are cities which can be earning little less as well. And if you take the large cities, their municipal expenditure, their city management expenditure, only 30 to 40% of their expenditure is being managed by their own source of revenue. And smaller cities, they are able to have only 20%, they are able to meet only 20% of their expenditure with their own source of revenue. So what about the remaining expenditure money, sir, which is being funded by the state government, by central government in the form of grants, etc. Right. So another problem, one is they do not have sufficient financial resources to manage their municipal expenditure. Apart from that, the other challenge cities are facing is regarding the multi-layered governance structure. You take your city where you are residing, urban local body will do some amount of management. You will have some special purpose vehicle which will be implementing various program, be it smart city program, be it the metro rail work program. You will have some state level infrastructure program. Okay, some high-speed internet connectivity program, and you will have some parastatutal agencies. These are agencies which are autonomous but funded by government of any government for that matter. So there are many such agencies. It is not just the urban local body which is entrusted with the complete task. They are interested in paper, but they are not given that full functional autonomy. You will have multiple players. So one side, assume the city corporation will be planning some road construction activity. Another side, the metro rail corporation will be coming and they will be damaging the roads. So all these can happen, and once let's assume that the metro rail corporation, they are coming and damaging the roads, and after that they will be doing some repair work, but finally the maintenance has to be done by the city corporation. Where will they go for money? So there are such marginalization which is happening, which the survey is highlighting. Survey is also pointing out one dead capital. So debt capital which they highlight is regarding the property revenue. So the property revenues which the municipal corporations can generate, that is being hindered through certain norms like floor space index. So what is this floor space index? So floor space index is the ratio between the total floor area of all the floors in the building by total area of the plot. Let's assume that there is a 1000 square feet land. In this 1000 square feet land, I am building, let us say the first floor, okay, with 1000 square feet, the second floor with 1000 square feet, the third floor with 1000 square feet. So 3 floors I have built 3000 square feet. So 3000 square feet divided by the 1000 square feet. The total floor area 3000 square feet by total area of the plot 1000 square feet. Answer is 3. This floor space index is FSI will be fixed by that metropolitan authority, maybe 2, 2.53. Higher the floor space index, more vertical apartments can be built. So in cities, what happened? The floor space index is kept, relatively less. So the cities, they can expand only horizontally. Assume a floor space index is higher, then the cities, the builders can build more number of flats vertically. So when they build more number of flats vertically, what happens? More property can be built, more revenue can be mobilized, and not just that, affordable housing can be brought in. Okay, so these are the advantages. So there is a dead capital. Okay, so the value is being locked due to restrictive regulations like the low floor space index norms, which artificially constrains the vertical growth. So because of that, the cities, they sprawl horizontally, and also it drives up the infrastructure delivery cost, housing becomes unaffordable. Additional issues, the land titles are not clear in the cities. To overcome this only, government came with this program, Digital India Land Records Modernization Program. Here, all the land records will be digitized. The patta, the other documentation will be digitized. Another one is Bhu-Aadhar, or it is simply called as unique land parcel identification number. Like how every one of us have a unique Aadhar ID, like that every land parcel, if it has a unique Aadhar, how it will be, that is called as Bhu-Aadhar. That is also being implemented. All these are created to avoid duplication and other fraudulent activities, right? And the survey is also focusing on circularity. So through Swachh Bharat program, initially we were focusing on open defecation, and now we are focusing on better outcome. Okay, at the same time, there are some challenges in the management and the segregation and effectiveness of the implementation. Open defecation we have achieved, but we are focusing on better outcome, solid waste management, waste segregation, waste management. Okay, so what is the future vision? The survey is also highlighting 880 philosophy. 880 philosophy that is given by a Canadian urbanist. Okay, so 880 philosophy simply means that the infrastructure should meet the need of 8 years old as well as 80 years old. If a road is being built, that road should be inclusive. It should be usable for both 8 years as well as 80 years old people. Okay, and also survey highlights about nature-based solutions. So today cities are concrete jungles, and because of the increased global temperature, the temperature is being further increased. Okay, so how to overcome this heat, how to overcome this urban heat island effect, for which go for nature-based solution, go for vertical farming, go for vertical gardens, come up with more number of parks wherever possible, right? In the high-rise apartments only, at the top floors, at the extended balconies, we can come up with some vertical gardens. So like this, we have to find some nature-based solution to address this urban heat island effect. This is also survey is highlighting, right? And survey also talks about embracing informality. That is, see, the cities, they are not just for the big elite class. It should not be just for the big multinational companies. We should also embrace informality. For example, government is focusing on PM Swanidhi scheme, state vendor Atmanirbhar Nidhi scheme. Under the state vendors are being given affordable collateral free working capital. So that has to be strengthened. Okay. Similarly, government also came with initiatives like Urban Infra Development Fund. This fund will be given for developing Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. Urban Challenge Fund of 1 lakh crore. This is given for private companies to build high quality urban projects. So like this, one side, informality should also be embraced. At the same time, we have to focus on the improvement of the infrastructure of the cities. The bottom line, cities are the center of money and innovation. At the same time, we see increased traffic jams, slums, confusion. To overcome this, we have to fix certain things. We have to fix the land rules. We have to focus on circular system. Circular system means the waste of one sector should become the input for other sectors. So go for a circular system, circular economy, and empower the city governments to mobilize more revenue and to improve their administration. That is the regular municipal expenditure and other administration. So this is regarding the chapter number 15. The last chapter is regarding import in substitution to strategic resilience and strategic indispensability. See, if you look at India, the post-COVID, we are the global outperformer. We are the fastest growing economy. We are growing at an average of 7%. We have a good banking, healthy credit, and healthy investment. Almost 30% of our GDP is coming from the investments, right? And external stability, our current account deficit, though we have a deficit, but the deficit is within the control. We have excellent foreign exchange reserve with which we can manage 11 months of our imports, and we also have a strong remittances. World's largest remittance receiver is India. Our remittance which we receive, which is much higher than the foreign direct investment which we receive. All right. But however, today the situation is not like before. Post-Cold World War, the post-Cold War, the post-World War and the Cold War, or after the Cold War, or immediately on the onset of Cold War. At that time period, if you look at the trade rules, which are predictable, which were based on fair rules, but today that is not the case. Today other technological support, other mineral support, all these are being strategized. All these are being used for their individual countries' geopolitical interest. The trade is being disrupted, the supply chain is being disrupted. So, having a macroeconomic stability alone for India will not work. We have to move beyond. So, we have to strengthen our institutional capacity. We have to strengthen our strategic capacity. So, what the survey says? The survey says that it is giving a path to strategic indispensability. So, the survey highlights 3 stages in this Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India. What is the stage 1? Stage 1 is intelligent import substitution. Don't substitute imports everywhere. So the survey says you substitute imports on defense, public health care and core infrastructure. So the survey says that instead of indiscriminate protectionism, instead of complete import substitution, go for intelligent import substitution. Give priority to national security over the short-term market efficiency. This is what the survey says. So the first step is we have to import substitute, not everything. Intelligent import substitute, selective areas where there is national priority, those areas strengthen country's ability. Okay. Second thing is strategic resilience. Create a buffer. Lot of uncertainty, geopolitical tensions going on. So maintain a lot of buffer. For example, be it the forex reserves, right? That is one example. So maintain sufficient reserves and have multiple partners. Diversify your trade partners. Don't depend on traditional players alone. Diversify your trade partners. Even if some countries there is some disruption, we can still survive. So move away from single source of dependence. Go for diversification. Scale and learning. See, there are certain sectors. Okay, the tier 2 sectors where the domestic production is feasible but imports are continuing. There are certain sectors. Domestically, everything can be produced, even the raw materials, inputs can be produced domestically, but we are dependent on imports because of certain coordination failures, okay, historical reasons. So correct that. So in areas where we can achieve self-reliance even today, focus on those areas. Okay, self-reliance cannot be achieved in single day. Right now, there are certain areas where self-reliance can be achieved, but there is dependence on imports. Still, we can achieve self-reliance. This is happening because of certain coordination failure. Address that. Okay. Then stage 3 is strategic indispensability. So first step is intelligent import substitution. Second step is strategic resilience. Third step is strategic indispensability. India should integrate itself in the global value chain, and India should make itself indispensable. Without India, the global manufacturing should be affected. So India should be indispensable. We should be so ingrained into the global value chain, right? India should be deeply embedded in the global value chain. Be it electronics, be it anything, be it AI-based tools. India should be one important player in that supply chain. Okay, in that value chain, India should be one indispensable player. So what happens when India becomes indispensable? Without India, there should not be a situation of without India. If India is not being included, or if India is being cornered, then that should affect others also. So that is going to give us a protection. If you remove China from the global value chain, that is going to hurt the entire world. That is the advantage that China has. So we should also become indispensable. So this is what we have to do. This is the path. These 3 steps are the path for the strategic indispensability, which the economic survey is highlighting, right? But the biggest hurdle for achieving this is the state's capacity. So what the survey says is the old style of governance is focusing on go by rule book, but what we have to know have is new style of governance. So we should be strict at the same time flexible. So where we have to be strict. So the company should not feel lazy. The company should not feel that anytime the government will will help us in preventing us going bankrupt. So the government should be strict in such a way that the company should not see government as a fallback option. The companies should always be they should not be lazy. Basically, they should become more competitive. So for which government has to be strict, where government has to be flexible, change the policies quickly based on the demand. In that, we had to be flexible. Mission Karma Yogi, such kind of change should be brought in the mindset of the civil servants also, for which government came with this Mission Karma Yogi. Deregulation, survey talks about deregulation. Deregulation means simplifying rules. Okay, see, simplifying rule doesn't mean that government doing less. It means that government is doing better. Simplify the rules, bring behavioral change among the civil servants, bring a new style of administration where the government should be strict, at the same time government should be flexible. So all these are required to achieve our Atmanirbhar. So this is what economic survey is all about. So we have covered all the 16 chapters in a phased manner in this series. I hope the discussion was useful. All the slides are available in the description. You can download. Alright, this content is sufficient. It is not necessary that you have to go through the bare economic survey. That is going to be very, very time consuming. This much is very sufficient for both preliminary exam as well as the mains exam. Right friends, I will see you in the next Hitlist video. Till then, bye. Take care from Guna Mathivanan.